好，那我先开始录音。
刚好现在延长那个不是我不认识的，
谁啊？
不会尴尬，我完全不知道。
印度女生。我的主演。
我知道了，可是就不认识就不会尴尬，不然我现在走，现在还会，对啊，怕其他那个。
好的，那我先开始问你几个问题，然后一会儿你就需要在那儿探索5分钟，就是不管你想在那儿继续探索还是怎样，5分钟后我会跟你讲，如果你想继续玩可以继续玩，不想的话就算。
好。
Okay. So firstly, could you tell me how old are you?
29.
What's your occupation right now?
A student.
So which suburb you are currently living in?
Redfern.
Redfern. Okay. So where's your birthplace?
Taiwan.
So generally speaking, how closely do you follow the topic of refugees in your daily life?
I'm a refugee by myself.
Okay, but seriously, like
sometimes when refugees flock into Germany, I actually follow a lot of news, but not here in particular, but yeah.
Mainly in Europe?
Yeah, I think this is sensational. So.
Okay, do you think there are more negative news than positive ones?
I think it's both.
Both, okay.
Yeah.
But do you have any experience to like interact with or communicate with refugees in your daily life?
I'm talking about refugee. I'm talking to a refugee right now. Refugee flow. Let me see. I don't know whether they are refugee or not. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But I think maybe some people are when I will try to donate some money.
Okay, so basically you just won't ask them.
Because I think it might be rude to ask whether you're a refugee or not. And maybe they won't tell you the truth, right?
Okay.
The beggars, I mean. So if you have some money, then you give them. But you don't ask too many questions.
Okay. So how do you feel about this group?
Refugee?
Yeah.
I think it's really complex. I think the reason why some people become refugee might because the country, and not because, like for example, like they are forced to be refugees. So I think it's a complex issue, and people are forced to become something, then it might cause not a lot of trouble in their own life and also to the other countries. Yeah. So, but I didn't know that Australia actually take refugees. It's funny. I think they have kind of refugee visa, right? So,
yeah.
So I would love to know how they end up as a refugee and how, something like that.
Okay. So I think this is perfect for you because this whole installation is about storytelling of refugees. So now, okay, maybe you can go there and try this installation for 5 minutes.
Anything?
Yeah.这个就是一共有15个故事，然后基本上都是像这样难民从伊拉克来到澳洲的难民，中途会讲他们怎样一路过来。然后这是一个18岁的嘛，然后还有一些可能年纪更大一点，然后他们到了这边来，可能并不会像18岁那样就是还对就是有新的开始。然后好多可能就是以前的所有的学历、学位、工作全都放弃，然后来这边根本就没有任何机会。你想要继续做还是歇一下？
之后是有采访吗？还是？
如果不想
可以采访，
你先歇一下。你可 可以在那边来写一下。Okay, are you okay right now? So after experience that, what do you think the story tells about? Like, what kind of story it told?
Let's talk about the design first.
Yeah. Okay.
I think there are some English grammar error.
What?
Grammar errors.
Grammar. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you have to translate. Okay, and second thing is that if you want to make it more powerful, you should try to rearrange the sentences, like make it like a poetry, will be better. Because I think certain you only use the period at the end of every sentence. But I think for some sentences, you can use like 3 dots, right? I forgot how to call it the name in
I understand that.
Yeah, I forgot how to call it in English. That's really important. And because I cannot see a line, because now it's the daytime. But I think it's fine for me. Even with the line, I won't be too touched because I might be distracted, but I don't know. And the other thing is like, I hope you could have some music. Yeah, it will be like you say you have 15 characteristics, right?
Yes.
Inside this thing. Maybe you can choose 15 songs to represent them. And it will be good, but I know it might be hard, but it won't be hard to code it. I believe so. So you can, if you have time, you must consider this. Yeah. And if this is just one, I mean, if it's not a lot, which means I would assume that there might be a small chamber in like this, even outside, you know. Even this is a place making, but you can still make it like private. So which means I am talking to that person.
Yeah.
I am facing him.
Yeah.
So music should be fine and should be considered as your design element.
Okay.
And I think it will be more touching. And if you even have more time, try to find some songs that correlate to their own story. It will be more powerful. Okay. Any other question? How do I think of a story? I think it's Good.
I mean, can you like tell me your interpretation of this whole story? I mean, like what kind of...
I think your design is try to make us a little bit closer to the refugees, because most people
Yes, we were talking about the content of the story. Yeah, it's okay. Feel free to start.
I think it's important to pay or to understand different group of people that are living with you, like I mean in the same country. And people, actually human beings, are selfish. We, most of the time, we only pay attention to ourselves. But actually, the world that we are living in are supported by everybody, which means how dare we think that we are more important than any other people. So I think, I don't know, but maybe I'm more emotional than the other people. But I think you can try to make it more stronger, sensational, and more emotional. I think it'll be fine.
Okay. So
I couldn't review all the story, but I like this one.
I don't have to ask you the next one. And the next question is about how does it make you feel. So basically just quite...
Very accurate. And
so are you like touched by his story, or are you...
I have a proposal. Actually, I like this hand touch images. I don't know your interpretation or your intention, but my interpretation is that it's just like two different people. They might try to understand each other, but since we will never be them, so our understanding, just like that animation, will be really limited. That limitation is broad enough that we will never really touch their hands. So maybe you don't need to make people touch that hand. Maybe even before they touch that, there might be something, maybe a glass, to stop that. But you can still have the trigger. And at the end, if they don't understand, you can have like design, concept, and story to let them know why I tried to touch the hand, but I couldn't. And maybe they will get a message. And I think it's, to me, this image is your key thing. No one will never understand another person. Yeah. But that's just my interpretation.
Sorry.
Maybe to you, it's just an image to tell people you can touch.
Yes.
But in my eyes, that might be another important message.
So
you can consider.
So do you think, like, when you touch the touching area, it's a kind of connectiveness? connectedness.
Just like I say, if you really connect, if you really touch that, that I don't know how to call it, the
Touching spot.
Yeah. Maybe it won't. To me, it's not as powerful as not being able to touch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so regarding the content of the video,
yeah.
Do you think the video shows you something you were never aware of before?
No.
You were not aware before.
The story, I don't know. Maybe it's just accidental. The story, actually, it's me. Maybe that's why. I know it's a real story. Oh, another thing is about the design. I mean, if we are watching the story, if we accidentally left, like detached from the touchpad, will the story continue or it will stop?
Stop.
Then it won't be good because you want people to finish it. So maybe you can have a design like when I touch it, the story begins. Even when I accidentally leave my hand, the story can continue, but maybe I touch twice, can change to another story, or can change to the interface. I don't know, because maybe for some people, they don't know how long they should put their hand there.
Okay.
And at the beginning when the net appear, maybe you can have some circle, well, like 就是一点一点，让人家知道可能会有东西进来。Like how to say, like a loading bar, maybe a circle one, I don't know, to remind people that something is coming. Otherwise, people might say, it's just a net. I saw that initially, but I know there's a story. So.
Okay.
Yes. Any question?
Do you have more thoughts about the topic of refugees you want to share?
Not really, but just like I said, it's really hard to think about. I mean, it's not so hard to know what kind of hardships they need to encounter, they need to overcome. But I mean, it's really hard for normal people, non-refugees, to really feel their pain. Unless it really happens to you. So I think it's good. Like, I understand you try to share love story to those people. I think it's a good design. And maybe you need to thank Luke. Luke is a good topic. Very good. This should be placed in VVCC.
So do you think it's important to let people all know about like refugees, how the people they really are, and to feel more open to the certain groups?
Yeah.
That's good. So, this story was played as just plain video. So, do you think this installation is very different from just seeing a video? Like from a tablet or phone or a LED screen?
Yeah, I only have one question.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't see the line, so maybe that's why. What is the point of having the lights?
Sorry. So basically, each line stands for each story. Every time a story played, the ELY would shine at a frequency of heartbeat stands for like a voice of the refugee.
The hobby would come from me, or
not from me, like it's from someone else. It's like,
okay.
我再用中文解释，不要怕
It's
用。
fine, it's fine, it's fine. Understand. But how do you make sure that people understand it's someone else's hobby?
They don't.
You can just write on screen.
They don't really have to understand. Like,
Okay.
it's like.
But you will have like some introduction if people they won't
Yes,
understand.
if it's better, yeah, and also it's like a journey, like from where they come and to
And
the
that's what I'm
end.
talking about. If it's about hobby, you want to think about how to deploy the design.
Yes.
Not how. I think it's too cliche, but something else like. You understand?
Yeah.
It would be a challenge.
So,
Yeah.
but do you think like an interactive installation is better or like worse than
Because,
just video?
I have another idea. I know you have done a lot.
Yeah.
But because you don't have sound, right? Even for the final.
No.
Okay. Why don't you turn hobby into the sound? Do you think it's possible for you, like when light beat once and sound will beat once to mimic the hobby sound? Like, do you think it's hard? Like, then no music but only hobby. I think it would be really powerful.
That would be a very good suggestion.
Because based on the science, listen to a hobby can really change people's perception and empathy.
Okay.
Maybe you can consider.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean no music. Yeah, no music. Like just a hobby. So when he is watching someone else's video live stream, and he can hear that person's hobby. What do you think? I mean, I don't know. You can test it, but yeah, and it might be really hard. But I know, but
Yeah, I
it might
like
be
this
interesting.
suggestion.
It might be interesting. Or maybe one more interesting thing. Not just that person's hobby, but also
Yours?
yeah, and to see when two hobby are clutch or something. And of course, we are allowed to tango for hobby afterward. Otherwise, it would be too annoying for some people, I think. But it would be really functional. Yeah. Any question?
Do you think the interaction distracts you from the story itself? No, not at all?
Not at all. No.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so can you tell me like what do you think the story you just watched talked about?
The change of life, the change of life of a woman. Yeah, before 2011, I mean, we live a very bad situation like in Iraq, and then she makes some change with I don't know, it's a refugees program or he made a difference and he live a good life. That's a simple description.
Okay, so how does this whole story make you feel?
A little bit. At first, I think it's a little bit not good because sympathize.
Yeah, sympathy.
Yeah, what's it? The thing, what is impressive that when she go around the world, somebody can kidnap her. That's really dangerous. And after that, he changed. She changed. He go to the Canada. This part I think is a little bit bored, you know, like just a normal life of a man or a woman. So I think the interaction, it touch the sensor, and you feel like connect with these people. That's cool. Can you give me some tent or something?
Tent?
Yeah.
What tent?
To say, to what should I talk about?
Oh, okay. So you want me to ask you the next question?
Yeah, the first question too general. I
Okay.
think.
I'm just saying, like, do you feel yourself know much better after the story?
Yeah, definitely.
So which part is the thing that you weren't aware of before? Like, you didn't know this kind of refugee story before? Like, before you told me that a lot of negative news about refugees, right, in Europe.
I know that before I watched this video, I thought these guys may have not a good life in refugees, but the thing is when they go to the refugee and they learn some skills and have some work experience and earn some money, that's it make a difference. So they did live a good life.
So you think like the people who help refugees, what they do is very meaningful?
Yeah.
So basically you think we should be more friendly and more open, like more welcoming to these groups?
Yeah, I think they have no fault. Yeah, why they should experience this terrible experience?
So, like, if you are facing a refugee, like, I don't know, you would have more positive thoughts towards him or her.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Because that's a story. Story is very, it's impressive, and you can connect with them. You will think that if I were him or her, what should I do? I have no wish. The only hope is from others. So we need to be the others. That's my idea.
Okay, last question is, what do you think the form of the way we show the stories?
Yeah.
Like, how do you think of this installation?
Yeah,
If
I know.
I just show you the video, like, would you think there's difference?
At first, I actually don't understand how to interact because I just put my hands on the
Touch stuff,
cardboard
yeah.
and it doesn't make a big change. Like just 3 columns of image and animation, and then the story like chapter 1, chapter 2, 3, and keep moving. I think if you add some music, it should be better because it's really. I think it's literally just word. The animation I think you can ignore because there are not much information in them. So the only words and or you can emphasize the highlight some words and that make me feel better to read it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think a little bit tired when keep touching with the cardboard.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I should put. It's like it lasts 5 more minutes. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my idea.
Okay. Cool. 谢谢。
哇，我的英文真的是。
那我先问你一些基本的问题。So, how old are you right now?
25.
25. What's your occupation? Student. Okay. So, which suburb are you currently living in?
Tempe.
Tempe.
Yeah.
Okay. And your birthplace is China, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So generally speaking, how closely do you follow the topic of refugees in your daily life? Like, how often would you pay attention to news about refugee?
How can I describe how often?
Oh, you don't have to say like specifically how often, or like how would you pay attention to this kind of news? You can say
a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like what kind of news?
In China there are always negative news from Europe, like some refugee come to the German or some France, and make some terrible results.
Yes.
But I don't think that's that's partial. Yeah, so I think it has a positive side.
Do you know that in Australia there actually are quite amount of refugees here?
I know, around west side.
West side, yeah. So do you have any experience of communicating with people from refugee groups in your daily life?
No. I mean, if they were, but I actually no idea who they are.
Okay, so like generally, how would you feel about this group of people?
I feel that, in my opinion, I should think they experience some like it's like a fate, If you was born in some terrible areas, you can't say that you have the ability to change the things. So we are all humans. We can help each other to make a group, make others live a better life.
But do you yourself know a lot about refugees' stories and their actual experience? Do you think you are like very aware of that? Not
no,
really.
Not really.
Okay, so now I would ask you to experience that installation for 5 minutes. You can just try to explore as much as you want, and I'll tell you when 5 minutes is reached. Okay, so you can start now.
然后没有了。
写个日期就行。
定期10月24。
OK， 然后你想就是中文还是英文的采访都可以的。
中文
行。行，那没事，您先过来，我先问您几个问题。第一个是您大概就年纪多大？23，然后你的职业是
学生，
就全职学生。
对。
然后你现在住哪一个区？Camperdown。然后你出生地方就是中国对吗？
对。
然后通常来说的话，就是你平时会关注关于难民的话题吗？
不多。
那你有关注过就看到过关于他们的举个例子呢？
就德国难民。
就是不太好的一些呗，就是关于他们的
对，就难民冲击嘛，就德国发生过。
行，然后那你平时有接触过难民吗？
流浪汉我不知道算不算难民，就是因为看不到还是有挺多各种各样的流浪汉的。然后就偶尔有时候他会主动找你聊天什么的。
那你知道他们是难民还是说你猜他们是？
我不知道他们到底是难民还是流浪汉。
那除此以外你有接触过吗？认识吗？
没有。
OK， 然后对这个群体大概就整体印象是怎么样的？
就挺可怜的。因为他们难民都是肯定要背井离乡嘛，就离开自己原来住的地方。那肯定他们也是不想离开自己原来住的地方这样子。
OK，
所以觉得挺可怜。
行，然后我先采访这几个问题，然后我们再先玩一下。看好我把主历史你可以到那儿。本来想说今天完善一下，结果你们已经 OK， 你先随便玩吧。到5分钟的时候我会提醒你。最后基本上就是一些故事。
可以选吗？还是要自动放进去？
自己探索。这个是故事，因为它这个只是界面看着有点像个游戏，它会慢慢有点慢这个。
那手一直放着还是可以的。
自己探索。没办法，就做测试。反正你现在干啥都可以，我不会管你的。 操作。OK，好，发现你就是好像还没有完整的看完一整个故事。
是。
然后就你看过最长的那个来说吧，然后你觉得它大概讲的是一些什么内容？
那个人名实在读不出来。然后他一开始也是在伊拉克的那个地方。但是那时候他就是在13年以前都挺好的，然后后来有遭受战乱嘛。然后他就说看到了各种各样的战乱，各种各样的灾难这样，他看到了父亲死在他的眼前，好像。然后后来他就被迫背井离乡去了阿曼。他说他去阿曼的时候他也说，他说虽然我离开了伊拉克，但我还是觉得我的祖国很好。他去阿曼的原因就是因为他妈和他祖母在那边，你知道吗？
稍等1分钟，同学，1分钟。Percy，没事，好，我们继续，不管，好，不好意思，打断。阿满，然后
就没了。
因为你没接着看下去。好，没事。对，后面基本上就是讲他到悉尼的故事。然后你觉得这个故事虽然没看完，但是你觉得它让你有什么样的感受或者怎么样？
什么样感受？就是虽然他肯定是那个很多灾民里的一部分嘛，他只是其中之一。因为肯定像他那样的灾民有很多，因为最后有国家遭受战乱的，第一倒霉的肯定是平民嘛。所以我觉得社会稳定很重要，这样。
然后那你觉得就是看这个故事有没有看到一些之前你可能没有意识到或者不知道的一些就关于难民的事情？还是说
就是因为他里面不是说，他说虽然我离开了伊拉克，但是我觉得我最爱的还是我的祖国嘛。就是我也觉得，因为如果假设我变成了难民，我因为战乱，比如说我父亲死在战乱里，那我肯定会觉得第一反应肯定是我会觉得这个国家非常可恨什么的。就是我觉得他为什么要夺走我这么多？但他们其实可能就真成了之后感觉不一样，他觉得他还是那个像他自己的祖国。
好，然后可以问一下你为什么就没有看完整个故事嘛？一直在切换。
太长了。对，而且他因为不是中间的过渡会挺慢的。所以说如果就读一句话之后其实要看挺久的那个同样的东西。所以我想那就干脆多切几个画面看看。
然后我们这个是在做一些对比嘛，就是你想想，比如说这个视频就光给你一个，比如说在户外的那种大屏幕上投放啊，或者是在电脑上给你放，和你觉得就是用这个装置相比，你觉得会有差别吗？就是形式上，一个是在户外的那种视频上播放，一个是
肯定会吧，因为就是你感觉因为你是自己去摁下每一个故事嘛。而且因为你要一直摁着，所以你的注意力会有一点被迫集中在上面这样子。因为你手一离开，它就会切一个。
对。
所以说，如果你想放在上面，你就得一直放在上面，这样就被迫一个注意力集中。但如果你在户外的话，就是可能染色这么慢，我就会觉得，那我开会儿小差也没事儿什么的。那可能开个小差就一部分就看不到这样子。
OK， 然后其他还有什么就是关于难民，你觉得有什么感想或者是什么想法吗？
好像没有了吧。
OK， 行，谢谢。
没事。
谢谢。
没事。
感激。好，咱出去。 好，我就直接用中文采访吧。
好。
先问一下你现在年龄多大
？25。
现在的职业是全职的学生吗？
对。
然后出生地是在中国，对吧？那你现在住哪一个区啊？
区？是在这里。
对。
哦 ，Ashfield。
然后想问一下，就是平时你对难民这个话题就是关注的多吗？
没什么关注。
那你以前有没有就是听过类似的新闻啊，或者是故事之类的？
有，前一段时间，前2年吧，蛮多的。
主要是关于什么？
前2年不就欧洲那个什么难民的一大堆。
就你觉得是负面的比较多，还是正面比较多？
肯定是负面的多。
负面就是恐怖袭击之类的。那你平时在生活中有没有接触过难民的群体？
没有。
OK， 就是一点点的嘛。有一些是不是可能是，但是你不知道？
有可能吧。
所以就是你在日常生活中完全没有，这样难民的这样一些人来聊关于他们的故事或者。
对。
OK，那你自己来说的话，你总体上对这个群体的就是看法或者感受是怎样的？
看法的话，就是觉得。
就或者感受啊，或者
觉得需要帮助吗？他们
？OK。
没什么看法。
因为不太了解。
对，因为没太了解这些东西。
OK，行，那你现在就可以，你可以来这边看一下。我先讲讲，因为我做的比较急嘛，就有点丑。然后你放上，如果你要手放上去的话，就轻点放就行，其他的应该没啥，不会触电什么的。然后这些线本来应该比较亮，但是因为现在白天有点不太明显，就是主要看视频嘛。然后我给你记录。对，就基本上是这个装置是你自己探索，就是看怎么样和它交互，以及会产生什么样的效果。然后我会告诉你，就是这之后会放一些关于那个难民故事的一些视频嘛，但是它节奏可能有点慢。然后你如果想接着看就接着看，然后不想接着看就看，怎么样都可以。对，然后你先开始玩吧，到了5分钟的时候可以提醒你。好，我看到你刚刚就是已经看完了一整个故事嘛，然后你可不可以讲一下这个故事大概讲了一些什么内容？就不用很难，就是你理解它是讲了一些大概什么样的情节？
就讲一个小孩吧，是小孩吧。然后他应该是在土耳其 ，Turkey 是吧？然后有叫啥？发生了一些事吧，我也不太记得。他就讲家乡很好什么的。然后后来当了难民，然后来到了澳大利亚，然后觉得澳洲，怎么说呢？很没有战争，然后也蛮好的，然后就觉得比自己的那个祖国更好。
OK。
就大概这样。
那你觉得这故事给你什么感觉？就是你有什么体会在里面吗？体会没有也可以，都可以。
像那种写作文那样回答吗？
不用，就是比如说你觉得这个故事让你感觉如何？比如说没有感觉，或者是开心，或者是难过，感觉有点同情都可以。
应该是同情吧。
然后那你觉得就是这个故事有没有让你看到就是你之前没有看到过的难民的那一面？还是说你之前
就像他们自己家，就像他们原来家乡也很美嘛，也然后他们有很多好玩的回忆啊，然后但是因为战争之类的，然后就不得不搬到另外一个地方去。就这样。
你就有没有觉得说这样故事让你觉得就是难民这个形象可能更像一个人了，而不是一个就是这样一个群体或者新闻上的那种某一个形象？有。然后那你觉得通过这个故事你会不会有一点点就是想要更加了解这个群体，或者是对这个群体有任何 改观之类的，或者没有都可以，有没有都可以，有一点。所以你觉得之后会想要稍微再关注一下这方面话题吗？
会的。
会 ，OK，然后就这个表现形式来说，你觉得，就是有这样一个装置让你手放在那儿啊，或者怎样，会不会影响你看这个视频的一个心情，或者是会不会让你分心？
我觉得主要是这个线让我分心。
好，那你觉得手那一块的？
这倒没有。
你觉得那个还好吗？
一直放着会有点酸吗？
然后那除了手酸之外，OK， 比如说嘛，就这样一个一样的故事，放在街上的那种 LED 大屏幕上放，你会就是停下来看吗？想一下。
闲着的时候会，但是要比如说上课之类的就会吧。
那肯定。那你比如这两者之间，你觉得差别大吗？
因为手要一直放着，然后就会一直看着这里吧。
就是你觉得这样就会让你就更加集中去看吗？
对，就更加集中注意力去看这个。
那你觉得就是可以换故事啊这些东西，你觉得会让你想更加的多看这些故事吗？还是说，就是手掌拿开和放下这一部分来说的话，会不会好玩多一点？还是
要是个更放松的姿势会好一点吧？比如说像现在这样坐着放的。
我试一下呢，我感觉这个高度好像对我还可以。好像男生好像
要么把它挪歪一点。
挪歪一点。
就是那个手掌放歪一点，要不你要一直这样保持这个姿势。
说的很有道理。可能是如果我再把这个放正一点，是不是会好？
对。然后因为我要这样一直这样站着。
OK， 好，谢谢。好，我采访到此结束，感谢。非常感谢。Firstly, could you tell me how old are you?
I'm 23 years old.
What's your occupation?
I'm still a master's student.
Okay, and which suburb are you currently living in?
I live in Asheville now.
And where's your birthplace? China?
Yeah.
Okay, so firstly, generally speaking, how closely would you follow up the topic of refugees? Like, would you pay attention to the topic of refugees in your daily life?
Not really. I didn't have much. I didn't know much things about it actually.
But have you heard any news or stories about them before?
Yeah, maybe, but I can't remember anymore.
Okay, so it's like not very clear memory.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you had any experience of communicating with refugees in your daily life?
No, completely no.
Okay, so generally speaking, like I know you don't know this group very much, but how would you describe your feelings towards these groups of people? How did you feel about them?
Maybe I feel a little sympathy to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think maybe they had a tough life, and maybe they need to working more harder than the normal citizens in this country to earn enough things they need to survive. But
But that's it?
yeah, maybe because I didn't know them much more.
Okay, so this is your opportunity to know them more. Now I would like to have you to experience the installation by yourself around 5 minutes. I'll let you know when 5 minutes is reached, and you can choose to keep watching the stuff or like experience it by yourself, or you can stop it after 5 minutes, or within 5 minutes. You can stop at any time you want. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll let you know when 5 minutes is reached. Okay, go ahead. Now let's move on to the interview part. So, 等一下. So I noticed that you finished watching one whole story. Okay, so what do you think the video was talking about?
The video was talking about three stories about different people's life when they moved to Australia, and they're all talking about the difference between their life in their country before and the life after they're moving here, and all of them think that Australia was a great country, and it offered them the opportunity to achieve more things than before. So that's it.
You were saying one story or?
Oh, all story.
All stories?
Yeah, all stories.
I mean, like the one you finished watching.
Yeah.
The whole story one. What did it say?
It says the life changes. Yeah, the story talks about women when they were in their own country before, they can't have the equal qualities. Maybe they couldn't go to university. They couldn't get a job, and even they couldn't walk alone. But after they arrived in Australia, they can have the same. They can have the same opportunity compared with men, and then they can do more things. They can. Yeah.
Okay. So, how does this story make you feel?
That story makes me feel that Australia is compared with the countries of those people in the story. Australia is more a country with equal opportunities, and there is less resist, and it can offer more equal qualities to everyone, especially in that story to women.
You mean equal right?
Yeah, equal right. So that's the most. I think that's the most important thing I can get from the story.
Okay. So, but regarding the story about the refugees, do you think the story told you something you were not aware of? Like, you didn't know this kind of refugee stories before?
Yeah. Actually, these stories are really detailed, and there are lots of things that I didn't know before.
For example?
For example, I didn't know that in Iraq, women can't go to college, and they even can walk along. That's incredible, I think.
You mean that's insane, or
yeah, that's insane.
Okay. So, okay, after seeing this video, do you have any thoughts or feelings towards the refugee groups? Like more thoughts?
I think these videos are really full of educational meanings. I think it's really worth to make it known by more and more people.
Okay. Why do you think it's important to let people know more about refugees?
Because, for example, like me, I didn't even know that kind of things happened in other areas among this world. So if we can make this known by more and more people, maybe we can work together. Maybe we can try to do our best to help those people in another areas like Iraq in the story, which may help those women there to get more equal right.
Okay, so like not just refugees, but also like normal people in Iraq, you still feel sorry for them in a way?
Yeah, maybe, but we may need more stories like this to help us know more about them. But at least now, I think I do feel really sorry for those people.
Okay. So in terms of the form of showing the whole story, do you think the interaction distracts you from the story itself?
No, I think it's really interesting, that whole instruction. Because I never seen kind of things like that. I just need to put my hand on, and the story will show up behind me, show up in front of me, and it's really interesting.
Okay, so what do you think the interaction stands for? Like, the meaning behind it.
The interaction may stand for help you knowing things you don't know, help you like you can. It makes me feel you can touch their story. You can be one of them to feel what they feel.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Good. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, could you tell me how old are you right now?
I'm 26.
Sorry. And what's your occupation?
I'm a full-time student and a part-time employee at a casual job.
Okay, and where's your birthplace?
I'm from India, the southern part. It's called Kerala.
Okay, and which suburb are you currently living in right now?
I stay in Darlington.
Darlington. Cool.
Yep.
So the first question is, generally speaking, how closely would you follow up the topic of refugees in your daily life?
Not very closely.
Yeah?
Not at all, actually.
So, but have you read any news or stories about that?
Yep.
Like which kind of stories?
mainly, okay, so there was this one about like Syria and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the one that I kind of followed and was trying to like figure out what was happening with the people.
Okay, but would you say that news you read about the refugees are more positive or negative towards this group of people?
It was supporting the refugees.
Okay.
Like it was showing that, you know, like how they were having a really tough time, and you know what was going to happen to these people and stuff like that. But the problem with the news, I think, is that you feel bad for them at the moment, but then after maybe like 5 or 10 minutes you kind of like forget about it.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
do you think is it because maybe possibly it's just like a group of people instead of like a real person in front of you? It's like a story of a whole.
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
Like if I knew that person more personally, I think that would make more of an impact than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so but during your daily life, would you have you had any conversation or like communication with real refugee people?
No.
Not really.
No.
Okay, and also wait a minute. Yeah. So, generally speaking, how would you say your feelings towards this group of people?
I mean, I definitely feel bad for them. Sometimes I think about how lucky all of us are to like, you know, live in places that are like safe and our families are safe and we don't have to like worry about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like when you think about that sort of stuff, you really realize how blessed you are. And yeah, like sometimes I think of how I would feel if I was one of those people, because that can happen to any of us, right? Like just because we happen to be born into like a place where we're safe and stuff like that, it's just like dumb luck. Like what if we were born into one of those places and, you know, like had to go through that kind of stuff? Like how would we deal with it? And it's sad.
Okay, thank you for sharing. And now I would ask you to like explore the installation, and I will give you a hint when it's 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes it's like if you want to continue, you can go ahead, and if you don't, we can just stop and do the rest of the interviews. Okay, you can let me just check. Okay, so firstly, I noticed that you've checked several stories, but not finishing any one of them. But could you tell me, like, basically, what's your interpretation of the content?
Yeah, so I was mainly trying to check how exactly the interface is working.
Okay.
So my focus was more on that than the story.
Okay.
So what I understood was that every time I place my hand on the console, a story of one particular person shows up, and there are 3 places that are put. So I'm assuming those are 3 places that person has been to, and as the time progresses, like each place and each story, it's like being written.
Yeah.
So the first part was like the the place on the left, then after that it goes to the middle place, and then it goes to like Australia.
Okay.
And then so the whole time you have to sort of place your hand on the console for the whole story to play.
Yeah.
Once you take it off, like the next, and then you place it again, the next person comes on.
Yes.
That's what I understood.
Okay, so you said it's a little bit distracting. The interaction is like it distracts you from the content.
No, not really. Me being an interaction designer, was more interested in the interaction than like the actual story. Not that the story wasn't captivating, because I did almost watch towards the end of one story, but what happened was I wanted to see the whole story, but I didn't know that it was the first one that I was watching. I didn't know that if I took my hand off that would go away. So I thought maybe I wanted to check if I took it off and I put it back on, will it come to that screen or if it will go to another story. So yeah, that's why I couldn't finish one. I wanted to actually see the whole story.
that's a little struggling?
Okay. Two things on like the perspective of the user. First thing is the fact that like if you take your hand off, you can't really see the whole story, and it goes to the next story. Second thing was actually like like placing your hand there for a long time. I guess in a way it sort of feels like you're connected to the person who's talking. Like it's like you're holding hands, sort of like it feels like that. But because the story is going for a very long time, like sometimes you might want to like move your hand. So
Okay.
if you move your hand, then the thing,
Changed.
yeah, it changes.
Okay.
So that's the two things that I noticed.
So do you think it would work better with some shorter
Yeah,
videos,
yeah.
or like a sketch or quotes?
Maybe no, not even shorter videos. I think the reason why the videos are going for a long time is because it's text. Like if you could get the people to put their voices,
Okay.
that would be like really nice.
Yeah,
And it's,
like voice
it's
over.
more engaging when like there's
Yes.
like sound, right? That's
Okay. So regarding the content itself, how does the stories make you feel?
It's actually really sad to like read through stuff like that, and like when somebody that young is going through things like that, it makes you like, it puts you in their shoes, and you kind of like think about what they must have gone through and how they must feel, and how we are so oblivious to everything else that's happening around us. Yeah.
So can I say you feel worse for them before you watch the stories? Like feel sadder?
Yeah, I do. Like, I mean, I empathize with them. As in, I don't know what I could possibly do to like help someone like that. I don't know, it just sort of tells their story and makes you understand how like people do need help, and how probably like people like us who are privileged do get to like help them somehow.
But do you think it's important for like just normal people like us to know more stories?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Why do you think it's important?
Because see, when it comes to like the world, there are a lot of countries that treat their people badly, and obviously there are like superpowers like the US and stuff. If they get to know what these people are actually going through, maybe they can do something to stop them. It doesn't even have to be the government. Maybe it can be just people donating money to these people, and somehow if we could get it to these people and help them, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess like it's awareness is always, yeah.
Okay. So do you think the stories tell you something you weren't aware of before?
Yeah. The thing is, like when we see like news and stuff about like attacks and all that, you just see the bad part that they go to. I feel like this video, it sort of shows like the very innocent and cute parts of their lives, like about how they write on the roses, the leaf and stuff. So that's a very personal thing. Like you would never find that about someone unless you really talk to them, or
Yes.
unless you get to know them personally. So yeah, that was so it's sort of like, it's more like
Humorized.
immersive, sort of like you get to empathize with them more because of these little stories that they're telling.
Yeah.
And it's not just about like the bad things that's happening. They're also talking about like the good things and the fun things in their lives. So it's like, even when such bad things are happening, they're still finding like the small things to be happy about. So that's
and regarding the form of showing the stories, I know you haven't just because my first study was to just show people the video, but not the interactive installation. So can you do you think the installation is like much different from just the story video itself?
Yeah.
How?
I think if it's just the video, I don't know if I would really feel that connected to it, because I think mainly because the interaction, the hand, the touch was kind of like that. I don't know what it did, but something about it was just. It felt very like personal, like you were sort of holding their hand while they say it. So that felt nice. Like that felt very personal.
Okay.
So I think that way the interactive thing was really nice. But I couldn't really like notice the EL wires. I think that's because it's very bright. You know? Yeah.
And it's not put in a very elegant way.
No, that's fine. It's just that it's because it's bright. I couldn't understand what the EL wires were doing.
Okay, so I can show you the video actually. It would become quite obvious when Okay, since you've already been asked several questions before, you've done the first study, okay? So basically the difference between the first study and the second study is that we use interactive installation to show the stories. And first question is, how does the interaction feel to you?
Feels a little bit stale, I think, after a while. I almost want to be able to have more choice of which story I play, which line I follow.
Okay.
It feels all right under the hand. Feels pretty good. But yeah, I'd like to choose have more option in which story I want. I kind of just kept lifting my hand and seeing which ones lit up, and then chose one when I felt like it.
Okay. Did you notice that actually can like choose some random one if you retouch the touch spot? But you mean like you want to?
I tried seeing if I could choose by trying different fingers or placements on the pad, but it just turned out to be random.
Okay. So just personally, which form of the storytelling you prefer, this one or the first one?
Maybe the first one, because some of the stories are longer, and I think holding my hand in that position for a very long period of time might not be that comfortable.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if I'd do it. Like at this point I would, but if I was out just walking around, I'm not sure if I would stay there for the whole time, or if I can't even move my arm off or anything to rest or reset my shoulder or something.
So, but what if it's like a very short videos or just like some quotes or just a sketch? Would you feel like this one better than that one?
Yeah, I think it's cool that you have to touch it or be interactive with it in order to make it work, but yeah, so if it's something shorter, it could be pretty interesting.
Okay.
It definitely makes you feel more connected at least for me, it makes me feel more connected at the beginning, but then when it gets into it, I just forget that my hand's up there until my arm gets uncomfortable, and then I want to move it, but then I can't because I can't start the story from the same place.
Okay. Also,
guess it's just part of the experience. But yeah.
Okay, so do you think this whole installation makes sense to you regarding its content? Like, or do you think the installation is related to the storytelling itself? or do you have any doubts?
I get the concept behind it. I just don't know. I feel like the threads don't really tie, or the strings, or they don't really tie into the stories themselves that much.
Okay.
Like even from where they're placed on the wall, or in the video section, there's nothing that really ties them into the video.
Okay.
So I think that could be more deliberate. Since you can't really choose which pathway you take, and then also none of them end in the actual video, like connecting to where the screen's going to be, or connecting to the name of the person in the story or something like that. Because of that, I feel like I don't feel as much of a connection as it could be.
Okay. It was designed to, like, one pathway is standing for one story. So maybe when you play one story, the corresponding line would flickering a little bit, but it's just during the daytime it doesn't show up.
No, I picked one that was light.
A little bit?
Yeah. I made sure I picked one where I could see all the lights.
Yeah.
And so, no, I think it's just the placement, that there's no, like, before you put your hand down, you don't know what's going to start.
Okay.
You just have this little icon saying, touch me. I'm like, okay. But now what? Right? So maybe if there was something like the strings go toward the icon or the name of that person or something, it would connect it better. Because right now it doesn't feel super connected.
Okay. So do you feel like it's quite different from the first method of storytelling, the video one, or it's actually the same to you?
I think it's a little different. Yeah, that might be because the story I was watching was different, but I guess in this one I'm trying to pay more attention to the physical aspects of how it makes me feel in the physical space as well. Like, I can't really concentrate as much on just the content because I'm seeing the lights, and from an angle that kind of forces me to see the light. So even though both versions are interesting, I think this one, it's different. I don't know.
So you would feel a little bit distracted when you use the interactive installation?
Not necessarily. I think it just depends on the placement.
Okay.
Because it's give or take, I guess, because I need to be able to see it in order to make that connection at some point. But then I also would like to see. Sorry.
That's good.
I would like to see it. I didn't feel as enveloped with the story as I did the first time, and I don't know if that's because of me, because of the setting. But when I was watching it on a screen, that's all I was focused on. Whereas right now I was paying attention to other things.
Okay. So did you play a little bit with the console?
Yeah, I tried to see if it was random. So I tried conducting through every finger, through different points of the palm. It was random.
Okay.
So I figured it out. It was completely random.
But like after you figured that out, would you still want to play with that, or you would focus more on the content?
Yeah, no, after that I just watched the video.
Okay.
Yeah, stuck pretty much to watching.
Okay. So according to you, maybe if there's like a video shown on a urban screen and a video shown through the installation, you would rather pick the urban screen one? Or it depends on your status, like the whole context?
Yeah, it depends on the context, because this wouldn't be in the same area as the screen.
Yeah.
So it's not like it would be in direct competition. At least I don't think so, because there's no place I could really foresee this being right there. If they were somehow right next to each other, then the urban screen, it's so large that it's able to catch more attention immediately. So probably would sit there and watch that for a bit because I don't have to do anything. It can just engage me, but I think that also makes it easier for me to walk away. If I hold my arm onto something for 3-4 minutes, I'm almost invested in it, so I don't want to quit and walk away, but I would also like some option that lets me move, stretch my arm or something. Maybe if there were 2 hands or something like that. Not exactly sure. Yeah.
But would you feel more engaged when you use the installation or not really? Because you said it's kind of like an investment of your time and also it's...
Yeah. I think at the beginning I would be more engaged with it just because I'm physically touching,
okay,
being part of it.
Physical engagement.
Yeah.
But how about like
mentally engaged?
Okay.
I don't think as much.
Okay.
Yeah. No, if I might not stop for a screen. I might not. But if I see that, it's like I might go and be engaged. So it has a better chance for me at least of attracting me at the very beginning. I think with that, even though the screen is bigger, it's still very possible that I might just walk past without actually looking up to see it. But if I see something that's a pretty decent size and it's got a touch panel on it, I might try to see what's going on.
Okay. That's it. Thank you. Thank you for your 10 minutes and 5 minutes over there. Yeah, I've noticed that you've actually exceeded 5 minutes of exploring. So what do you think about the interaction and the whole user experience?
Okay, so the interaction or the videos that you played?
Firstly, maybe you talk about the interaction.
Okay, interaction. I guess I was confused by the interaction at first.
Why?
Well, I thought because it said touch the star.
So you didn't expect to stay the hand?
Yeah, I didn't. I thought if I touched it, then something would play.
Okay.
But then I guess it kept. When I first did it, just I touched it for a few seconds, and then I guess it switched to different names, so I didn't understand what was going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you figured that out eventually, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe within 3 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
And,
something like that.
And so would you prefer touch to start, or would you prefer the way it is right now? Like, would you prefer just one tap, or would you prefer to keep your hand on the console all the time?
I think it'd be better if it's just touch start.
Okay.
I mean, one thing I thought of was maybe have, because I guess it's a list of names, right? It's a list of names, and then.
Oh, you thought it was.
No, okay. Then so it's meant to be a list of names, and then there's a video associated with each name. Is that right?
Yeah, the video starts with the name and the age of the character, and then the animations. But at first you thought it's just several names, right? Because I noticed that you've changed the stories before the actual content started to play.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, so I thought it was just names. So maybe I was thinking have like a preview of each video of each person, and then let's say you touch, and then
there's a preview, and then perhaps if you keep your hand on it, then it will choose that person's video.
Okay.
For example.
So yeah. So how would you interpret the interface, the touching spot? Like
Interface
Yeah.
itself, yeah, I think the touching is good.
okay.
So the hand makes sense. Yep.
Okay. Hello. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
We're saying the interface, right? The
Yeah,
touching.
Yeah, the touching.
Yeah. What do you think the touching stands for? What does the touching stand for? Or you think it's just some interface? No specific meaning.
Well, I'd say because when I touched it, there was a line that the wire lit up, so it's sort of, I guess, connected from the front box to the screen. So I guess that's what the touching was for.
Okay.
I mean, I'm guessing it's meant to be hand to hand. I guess.
Okay.
But I didn't quite get that, I suppose.
Okay, that's okay. So you've done the first test with me, right? The video watching one. So do you think there's much difference between the video one and the installation one regarding the storytelling?
Just trying to think back to the video one.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was just playing the video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just the video on the iPad
Yes.
without anything else. You saying differences or similarities? Similarities or
difference? Like
differences?
maybe which one do you prefer and why?
Okay, I'd say this one.
Could you tell me why?
I'd say it's more interactive.
So you like the interaction?
Yeah, it's the interaction was. I mean, other than the part where it's confusing, I think the interaction was a good idea. So it was less. It was, well, compared to the one on iPad, it was less about just watching just another video. And then if they were, because of the interaction, it felt like it was more in the moment, or at least more real, I suppose.
Real? It's like you feel like you're actually in touch with someone else. Can I say that? Okay.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, if I had to rate it, then it's I mean, I don't know if I can give it a figure, but I'd say it's a bit more, but I guess it's not overwhelming. So I'm just trying to think of maybe like a scale. I mean, it is. It's more. I do think it's more powerful. But
okay.
It's not overwhelming, so I suppose.
Okay, but it's not like too, like it's not like way more better than the first one.
Right.
Okay.
But I think the interaction was a good idea.
Okay, so is there any struggle or doubts about the installation you would like to ask, or you do have when you experience?
Not really, other than just the interaction. The confusing interaction, I suppose.
The interaction was confusing?
Just the part that I was confused about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And also, I noticed that you actually finished watching the whole story. So,
Right.
would you think the installation would make you feel more connected to the story itself comparing to the video? Like, would you feel more connected or engaged with the stories when you use the installation? Or not?
Yeah, I'm just thinking because I think so, but at the same time, because if the story takes, I don't know, what is it, 5 minutes?
Yeah, it's
Each
quite
story
long.
takes 5 minutes. Yeah. So I'm thinking if someone had to stand there, then they might not want to stand there for 5 minutes. So I'm just thinking. I mean, I think the idea is good,
Yeah.
and I like the bit where the wires keeps on pulsing.
You noticed the
places it.
posing?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I think that's a good idea.
Cool.
So I guess that gives them more feeling of connectedness.
So it's more
as well.
Immersive feeling.
Right.
Okay. You notice it's like a heartbeat pulse? No, not really. Or it's just a pulse.
I wouldn't say I noticed there's a heartbeat.
Okay.
I just say pulsing.
Okay.
But it did feel like it's maybe like a communication pulse.
Okay.
That sort of thing. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Other than this, do you have anything else you want to share about? Like, do you think there's something we could do better for the installation, or do you want to add some other functions?
I'm just thinking, is this the biggest
Not
going to be, or?
Not really. Maybe we will make it bigger, but for now,
Okay.
yes.
For now.
Since it's like a very small space here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so then there's going to be longer wires running.
Yeah, maybe, or in a different shape. I don't know. Maybe later.
Different shape.
If you want, you can come by to Liverpool later. We'll have it installed in Liverpool for a festival next week. If you want, you can check too. Yeah, it's like a 100 years of World War II, World War First, the
World War One. Yeah.
Okay, World War One.
World War One. Yeah.
Yeah，就是那个停战协议100周年的。It's like a festival about that. So all the projection and installation there would be about peace and war and stuff. If you're interested, you can come back and have a look. I think it's running for 2 weeks, starting from the 1st of November.
1st of November.
Yeah.
Oh, so this won't be before the report. Another report presentation.
Yeah, it's after the presentation.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's maybe if it's bigger then.
Yeah, it would look better, right?
It look better. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the same, but no, I only got this much space. But, yep. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so now that you've done watching the story, okay, let me just close this up. So, can you tell me what do you think, and what you think the story was talking about?
Apparently, there's a little boy who, when he was a child, he suffered from the war in Iraq, and after that, he had to go to another country to make a living, and he worked a lot, like labor work with small payment in order to support his family. At that time, he was desperate because there was no hope in his life, and he couldn't go to school. So until one day, his cousin came and told him that they actually can go to Australia because the government accept them as refugees. So since that day, he has been really happy, and from at the time he came to Australia, he felt that Australia is treated him like better than his own country treated him before, and he was really happy, and now he thinks Australia is his mother country. It's like this story.
So how does this make you feel, like the whole story?
To be honest, it feels really unfamiliar because this is so far away from my life. I have never been through any kind of war, so I cannot like emphasize?
Empathize.
Yeah, emphasize. No, but I think this story is pretty inspirational story that shows there's still love and peace in this world, and no matter how bad it was, it will only getting better. So yeah, it's like, okay. And I think it's really nice and kind for Australian government to accept refugees in their own country. And, yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of answered my third question, but I have to ask you one more time. So do you think this video shows you something you were not aware of before?
Yeah, definitely. Before I saw this video, I thought some of the refugees they were just forced to come to other country against their own willing. But after I saw this story, I really noticed. I understood that there were people that were really suffering from the war, and they were really desperate of going to a peaceful place, just want to run out of the situation. So yeah, this is something that I didn't aware of.
Okay. So do you have any other thoughts about refugee, or do you have any other thoughts and maybe feelings towards the refugee groups?
Feeling is like neutral. I don't have like
You're not
I'm not feeling really sorry for them now because they are living peacefully, no matter like how much they have been through. Right now is currently like peaceful, but I'm still a little concerned about their current living condition in other countries. For example, language must be a problem. If somebody came from Iraq, I don't think they can speak English really fluently. And another kind of thing is like how are they going to continue their career in a really like strange like new country from the really start, because it's not really easy for even like ordinary people like us to settle down in Australia. So just they were even like kind of a disadvantaged kind of group. So I'm just a little worried about this situation.
Can I say that because you're also like international student here, so you kind of emphasize their situation, like being in a whole brand new country.
When I first came to Australia, I felt that I can never be
part of it.
A part of this country. It's like I don't belong here. So, but right now I think I'm getting like used to it, but still I think my root is in my own country. I still cannot think Australia is like my mother country. No.
Okay. Do you think it is important to let people like understand, like know these kind of stories?
Definitely, I think it's really necessary. Why? Because even though they're refugee, they're still human. They have their own feeling and then have been through a lot of like sad things. It's really necessary for people like us, like people who have a better life, to know more about this situation, so they can maybe, I don't know, just in some way it will help the situation for the refugee. I mean, no matter like emotionally or financially. I mean, yeah, I just.
So do you think that after knowing more about them, maybe people would be more friendly or open to
because some of the people, their mind are not open to this kind of like refugees, because they might think they're dangerous for some reason, or just maybe they don't want to be friends with them.
Okay.
But I think after seeing this kind of story, and people will know better, be more educated about this aspect, so I think that's a better thing.
Okay. So regarding the form of showing the story, do you have any doubts or suggestion to the video itself?
Storytelling?
The video, like the way it is shown.
Personally, I prefer a video with sound.
Okay.
No matter sound effect or like a monologue or like a talking kind of a voiceover thing. But maybe this is a new thing. I mean, like maybe without sound is cooler. I don't know, but for me, I prefer video with sound.
Okay.
And I think the animation could be more. There could be more animation. I mean, I keep staring at the same animation, but maybe this is the way to like give more like impact. Keep repeating these 3 animation to make people to like memorize it, to remember it.
Cool. Firstly, how old are you?
I'm 23 years old.
And what's your occupation right now?
I'm just a master's student.
Just a master's student. Okay. And which suburb are you currently living in?
Ashfield.
Ashfield? Okay. So your birthplace is China, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the first question is, how closely do you follow up the topic of refugee in your daily life?
Basically 0.
Okay. But do you have you read any news or stories about refugee before?
Yeah.
Which kind of?
I think I read news about the refugees in Melbourne. They were I don't know what happened, but they were apparently not satisfied with what they're having right now, so they went on a like a campaign sort of thing.
It's like a protest or
protest.
Okay. Yeah. And so that's it.
And
okay.
Actually, the refugees in Melbourne were originally the government allowed them to come here, and they encouraged the refugees to come to Melbourne. Yeah. But apparently they didn't provide enough for them, so that's why. I think that's the reason why the campaign started.
Okay. So, generally speaking, do you think most of the news you read about refugees are more negative or more positive towards
I think 50-50.
50-50.
Yeah, but I think apparently the whole direction is more of the government side. It's like government has adopted a lot of good policies for the refugee, but for the people like me, we don't really know how well they're doing. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you feel like in the news you can't really know more about the refugees as a people. It's more like a image of a group.
Exactly.
Okay.
For me, I have never met any of the refugees. Maybe just once. Like one time I took an Uber. The Uber driver told me that he was actually a refugee, and now he's settled in Sydney.
Cool. So, actually that answered my second question, that if you have any experience of communicating with refugees. So the third question is, how would you describe your feelings towards these refugee groups? Like, what's your attitude towards them?
First attitude
or impression?
Impression,
Both.
I think, is... I think they're kind of pathetic.
Okay, yeah.
Pathetic, but I don't know whether that's the right word to choose. But I feel sorry for them because they lost their homeland. They don't have a place to go. They had to go to other country to seek for help. I think if I were them, I will feel really sorry for myself too. But I think they're pretty lucky as well, because there are a lot of people who lost their home and still were not accepted by other countries. So in comparison, the refugees in Sydney is like more lucky.
OK， 好，挺好。
虽然你看可不明白为什么会有一坨冰淇淋在那旋转。
OK， so I noticed that you figured out the interaction really quickly.
Yeah, it's really obvious that you put a hand shape. So at the time I saw the hand shape, I just want to put my hand over it. But yeah, so maybe because of my own experience, so I want to put my hand still on it. But maybe I don't know. Maybe for some other people, they want to try like tap.
No.
But for me, I just want to keep it still, keep my hand still.
OK. So other than that, how do you think about the interface and the interaction?
I like it. I mean the I don't know what is the box.
The console.
The console is pretty nice and neat.
Okay.
And when I put my hands on the surface, it's smooth. It feels comfortable. So I don't feel like I want to move my hand to any other places. And my arm is like I just rest my arm on the surface. So feeling was pretty good.
Okay. So I noticed that you kind of try to finish one of the story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And just like you told me that you feel maybe this story is more touching than the first one you saw through the video, right?
Definitely.
Do you want to share some feelings towards this story?
Yeah, definitely. By the time I saw the story about the vanilla chocolate ice cream, I still feel sorry for the refugee, but there were not like specific kind of feeling. But as long as at the time I saw he found the vanilla and chocolate ice cream was the best ice cream in this world, and he could never find a same flavor. After that, I just wanted to cry, seriously, because I think taste is the most for me is most tangible kind of sense to me, because when people were infants, the way they know about the world is by their mouth, by their tongue. They want to lick everything, and for kids, they want to. When I was in kindergarten, I just want to grab something and put it in my mouth. So I think that's the way people originally know about the world, is by the taste. So I think at that time, the situation for our character in the story was really, really bad. So maybe the ice cream. Maybe I don't think the ice cream was that good. Maybe it's just at that time, every other things were bitter. So just one little kind of sweetness will just bring him like joy.
So, I mean, like something detailed can
it's more touching. It's more touching,
and also like really bring someone back to some time, and
it will make me feel related.
And also it's more like a human being in front of you.
Yeah, it's like it's more real. It's rather than kind of an image kind of thing. Okay, you're a refugee, but you literally just tell me that you like the ice cream because of some reason. So I feel like maybe there are really people like him around us. Like maybe I should know better. Maybe I can help. Like make me feel that way.
Okay. So regarding the form of the storytelling, do you think the interaction make you more engaged and connected to the character in the story?
Yeah, because the video started to play after I put my hand on the handshake button. So that makes me feel it's me who started the story. It's like I open up a book or I press the button like that. So Yeah, I think the interaction was good. Okay. I like it.
Cool. But do you have any doubts, or did you suffer from any struggle during the whole experience?
Not really, because as long as I keep my hands on the surface, the video keeps playing, but I didn't try to move because I might, if I thought if I move, maybe the video will interrupt or maybe it will end, so I didn't move. But what makes me confused is about the wires.
Yeah.
Because maybe because of the lighting now is too bright, so I cannot see. Maybe it was supposed to be lighting up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, it would light up like a posing style, like it's
like a
flickering, like a heartbeat posing frequency, lighting.
Like based on my heartbeat.
If you want to think that way, if you want to think it's not actually yours, but I mean it can stand for yours or the characters, I don't know. Depends on your own interpretation.
Yeah, so what is the pattern? So just randomly?
The initial concept is that the lines actually stand for their journey. It's like they're from Iraq, but people scatter around the world. Like some went to maybe Europe, some went to Asia, some went to I don't know, Australia, but eventually they all ended up settling in Australia, in Sydney, in Liverpool, right? So it's like a journey, but it's a little bit abstract, I understand that. So also we want to add some connectedness in that. So it's like once you touch the spot, one of the wire would light up. It's like you initiate a storyline. Yeah. And each line stands for one story. So it's kind of like you are connected with the stories through the wires.
So one wire represents one story only.
Yeah. So every time there will be one line lighting up.
Oh yeah. So like, for example, I touched this one time and the story finished. I touched it second time. Will it be another story or
another story? And another line would light up.
Wow. So, do you think there will be more than one council? Like a lot of people experiencing at the same time?
Maybe not this time because there's like limited time and space for us. But we try to make it look better in Liverpool. We might add some quotes, maybe, or like over there. Actually, at the end of the line, we will try to draw some words like peace. And over there, you see some holes on the console, right? We will try to line the words love over there. So it's basically love and peace.
Oh, really? So this is your concept, love and peace?
Yeah. So it's like you initiate your love there. And you're connected to the peace there. But since I got limited time and I have to take down all the things and deliver them to Liverpool, so I don't want to like set up too much things here. Yeah, but basically it's our initial concept.
I like it.
Thank
you. I like it, seriously. But I think maybe it would be cooler if the visual effect is more obvious.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like just make people just wanna.
Yeah. Do you want to see a video of that, like the line posing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll show you. Maybe because I've done several tests at home, so it's more obvious in the like darker place. 1 minute. I'll show you which one. 稍等。
他真的很厉害呀！你们看视频。
但是我觉得它内容怪重的，
内容是怪重，
就有一些 touching，不过之后应该不会完全用这个来，好像就Leo想说根据这个来画一些东西嘛，然后我觉得。